At TSG Co, our vision is to reach every Bharatiya household with Bharatiya stories. So we are all about storytelling, and that leads to our mission, like where we want to indulge the families, the youth, the kids into these stories through all the available online and offline mediums that we can get access to, right? Like, and that's why games, digital apps, and books are some of the product verticals that we are focusing on right now. And I would like to go a bit deeper than vision and mission and try to get into like why this mission is what we are focusing on. And the way I think about it and the way we at TSG Co have thought about it is we as civilization have survived lot of challenges, invasions, attacks, soft attacks, hard attacks, like however we name it, like over generations, over centuries. And the reason we have survived those is because we have been able to stay true to our values, stick with our identity, and to do so, our ancestors have been able to pass these stories from one generation to another. And not only they have passed stories from one generation to another, they have passed the battles from one generation to another, like Ram Mandir being one of the examples, right? Like it was a battle started by our ancestors in 16th century, and we took it to conclusion in the 21st century. So like that, the passing of stories is very important for us to continue surviving and thriving as a civilization. And that's why our core thesis at TSG Co is that we want to connect with our youth and kids where they are today. So they mostly are on the phone, they use digital apps, they use games. So we want to make sure that we are giving them the right information and stories through the mediums where they are comfortable. That's where gaming comes into picture, and we can talk more about that.
Yeah, so I want to take you back to the story that we chose for as the first war game of Maharana Pratap, right? So why did we start there?
As we talk about telling the right stories, so the values that we want to share with our audience, Maharana Pratap epitomizes those values of valor and bravery, right? And it is also one of the least truthfully told stories in Bharat, right? Like about Maharana Pratap, what we have known so far is like the popular narrative is around uh, Haldi Ghati, like Maharana Pratap fought an inconclusive battle in Haldi Ghati. That's the narrative that's been floated around. But the reality is far from that. Reality is Haldi Ghati was fought in 1576. Maharana Pratap died a natural death in 1597. But between that, he not only reclaimed Mewar from the invaders, but he also instilled such fear in the hearts of invading Mughals and Akbar that our generations, the future generations, our current generations and future generations should know that, and they should feel pride in Maharana's valor, that he did this in a time when all of like the North India was almost captured, like fully captured by Mughals, and he still kept Mewar independent from invading forces. So, but I think beyond that, I think, and that's why we went into like researching more about Maharana's life beyond 1576, and that's what the game is about. So actually, Sudhanshu, I think you should tell the audience about our research. And
We started looking about the story of Maharana Pratap, and when we started doing that, we came across a lot of articles from the popular sources like Delhi University, like other places, and we did not find them very close to truth. So we started digging deep, and we ran into this book in some of the footnotes called Veer Vinod Mewar Ka Itihas by Kaviraj Shyamal Das. It has 4 volumes, and we went through that Mewar Ka Itihas book in great detail. And that book is the basis for our gameplay. I actually wrote a few lines for that that story that we will tell through our game. And the lines go like this, and it will be in Hindi. So this is for all the people who do understand Hindi. जो जो तुमको बतलानी है वो बात पुरानी है शोणित जो बहा धरा पे मेवाड़ का पानी है। सिंहों की धरती है ये राजस्थानी है, हम तुमको बतलाते हैं ऐसी ये कहानी है। वैसे तो किस्सा ये बहुतों को आता है, पर कायर मक्कारों से सुना नहीं जाता है। झुठलाने को इसके अनेकों प्रयत्न हुए, पर रक्त रचित इतिहास कहाँ स्याही से बदला जाता है। एक कवि श्यामल दास को भूरे साहब भूल गए, वीर विनोद लिखी उन्होंने, पुस्तक वो अनजानी है, हम तुमको बतलाते हैं ये सी वो कहानी है। शोणित जो बहाधरा पे मेवाड़ का पानी है। So this book is from Veer Vinod, and this book is called Veer Vinod, and this game will go into the life of Maharana Pratap, as Kritarth pointed out, from 1576 when Haldi Ghati was fought, and then it will go into different chapters of Maharana's life, and we will talk about those.
Yeah, so if we talk about like the structure of the game, the gameplay, so we have 5 chapters in the game, and we have like in each chapter we have 4 levels. 3 levels are on horse, and 1 level in each chapter is on foot, like it's a boss fight with the enemy, the key prominent enemy that we have identified in that journey. So that's the overall structure of the game. Then we have lot of terrains. So we sent our development team to Mewar to actually do the research and understand uh, what the terrain looks like, what is the pathways, how the trees look like, how the villages look like, so that we are building something authentic for our users. Because if we just use what is there on Unity library, that is mostly based on like Middle East or like Egypt and that sort of terrain, which does not directly apply to Mewar, the region where we are setting up our game.
With that, I mean, we would like to transition to the next segment, right? And we would like to talk about other heroes.
So I think one thing I would like to highlight is Legend of Maharana is a game, is the first step in the Legend of Bharat platform that we are building for highlighting the contributions and legendary tales of all our heroes from across Akhand Bharat. Maharana Pratap, we started with Maharana Pratap, but we want to expand into heroes from Maharashtra, like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He's like hero for all over India, right? He ended the tyrannical Mughal rule in Bharat. But beyond the popular names like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Maharana Pratap, we have legendary heroes from different parts of Bharat. Like if we go to Assam, there is Lachit Borphukan. If we go to south, like we have Rajraj Chola, we have Krishnadev Rai, we have Imadi Pulkeshi.
If we go up, we have Lalitaditya Muktipada in Kashmir.
So we have like, if we look at the whole expanse of Akhand Bharat map, we have heroes from almost every region, and we want to build games depicting their life stories, their valor, their bravery, and take that to our kids and youth, so that they are not limited in knowing heroes only from where they belong, but they are also aware of heroes and their heroics from across the nation.
And when we say heroes, it's not only male heroes. We also had female warriors. Ahilyabai Holkar, for example, she led charge in a lot of wars. Queen Lakshmi Bai led charge. There are many such examples spread across our great nation. So we fundamentally believe that the education of a child and the values are imparted first at home, right? So when the kids are really small, like 3-year-old or 4-year-old, like my son is or your son is, right? At that time, we very well know that for that age, even giving them screens is not ideal at that age, because they are growing up. So we had to think about that, and we had to capture their mind space through something physical but very interesting. And that's why we published that book, which basically talks about all the heroes and retrains our more parents mindset from what is from A and what is from B. And pretty sure a lot of parents also would appreciate learning about those heroes as well, and bring those into sort of like bedtime stories, for example, for their kids, right? And then
I would just like to highlight that The book we have published is in beta right now, so it will go on sale for the public in summer.
Yeah, and but currently what they can have is the app. So there is Indic Roots app, which is a mobile app on both iOS and Google Play Store, which you can download. There are around 75,000 users of the game that have used that app, and if you go to our App Store and Play Store, you will see parents, appreciating our effort and thanking us for creating this game that they can use, themselves to tell these stories and in this simple way to their kids. So that app is available. That also, by the way, goes beyond just the heroes, right? So why don't you talk about all the lessons that are there in the app?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, like it goes beyond the heroes. So our Maharana Pratap game and our book is focused on heroes, but we also want to again capture the mind space of children through with different aspects of cultural learnings that we want them to adopt, right? Like things like what is our new year? Like everybody celebrates January 1st as New Year, but as we have seen in the US, right? Like Chinese celebrate their Chinese New Year with a lot of pomp, right? Like, but we even know like when does the Hindu New Year start? Like, so that starts with the month of Chaitra, right? And this year it starts on March 26th, and our New Year will be on April 9th. But this is something that is not in common knowledge in our. That's what we think, right? And that's why we have a segment on a lesson on Hindu calendar. Then we have more information on festivals. We have a chapter on like a lesson on dances, because again, like a lot of effort has been made to separate dances from its religious rootings. Like all of these dances are actually rooted in a lot of Hindu texts and religious beliefs. But again, like the ecosystem had tried to like separate those so that people don't realize that, right? So
one of the things that I would like to dig a little deeper on the dance and the origin of dance, right? So most of the dance form that we have in the what we call classical Indian dances are they come from Nritya Shastra from Germany, and basically what happened during British rule is at that time dance used to be a form of worship, and it used to be happening in our temples. But then if you go to our app, you will see that there was a anti-notch movement that missionaries ran during the British rule, and they passed a law that temples cannot be used for dance. But the civilization again resisted with their values, and still kept practicing these habits, and these things were passed on from generation to generation, and our dance forms still survived.
yeah, exactly. So like those are the kind of information we have shared in our app, right? So that kids know like our civilization, it is beyond like one vertical, right? It's not just about heroes, it's not just about our Hindu calendar. It's like every aspect of life has a connection to our civilization, and everything is connected. So that's what we try to like show through our app. So we have like dances, we have festivals, we have heroes, and then we have like a brief information on our yugas.
Yeah.
And then we have dashavatars to again show like how different avatars came and what was their purpose. And then we have going back to heroes and that space, like we have some ancient contributors to science and like overall like value system, global value system that was built with their knowledge system, right? With their knowledge contributions. So the forgotten inventors is one category that we recently added, and there we have highlighted Maharishis and Rishis like Bodhayan, Aryabhat, Gautam. All these Rishis have immense contribution to different spaces and different disciplines, as we call today. And maybe we can talk a bit about Rishi Bodhayan and Rishi Gautam, right?
Yeah, we can. So there are 11 characters in that lesson, all from in this category. And so Bodhayan, for example, is he invented what we know popularly as Pythagoras theorem. He calculated the value of pi. There is a lot of contribution that he made in the field of math. but the credit goes to Pythagoras, the credit goes to other people that are there. Maharishi Kanad is another Maharshi that have immense contribution. We read chemistry and we read physics, and we are told that Dalton is the father of atomic theory. Newton is the father of law of motion. But Maharshi Kanad in his Vaisheshik Sutra already, hundreds of years before Dalton or Newton were born, gave the atomic theory, gave the three laws of motion almost word for word. So we have included that phrase that he has for the three laws of motion in the game, so people can learn when that happened. And it's not all the information in the game are sourced authentically. We have papers where these references are there that we have gathered and saved with us in case people want to have more information. And we have made sure that some of these things are brought to life. That we contributed fundamentally to a lot of disciplines. Others might later on made them popular, but the origins are primarily in India.